Well, welcome back to Backstreet Gossip. And wow, we have Teddy Roosevelt, our 26th president of the United States here. He's wearing earmuffs. It's the only way he could wear the headsets was around him. And of course, we have the lovely and talented Connie still here.
I am still here.
Because we thought it would be good to have her since she's going to be doing some of the lyrics on these songs, not necessarily tonight. Teddy, tell us about yourself. Nice looking mustache.
Well, thank you.
Try to keep it up.
We'll try to keep it on. I was the, as you know, I had a lot of occupations in my time.
You did.
Yeah, I was a New York State Assemblyman.
Yes.
And I was the commissioner of the Civil Service Commission.
And I believe you're the police commissioner too.
I was a police commissioner of New York City. New York City, yeah. And I was also.
You want some rubber cement?
I was also the vice president, and I became unexpectedly.
Mr. O'Connor, you got a stapler here. Teddy's mustache.
I became unexpectedly the president of the United States. Tragically,
and a doggone good one too.
Yes, indeed. And I came back mainly because I thought that Americans forgot about the values that made America a world power, starting with my administration.
That's true. You were a high testosterone president.
Indeed, yes. Yes, and I only lived 60 years, but I got a lot out of those 60 years.
Done, and you lived a very, from what I know of you, you did everything. I mean, you were an explorer, you were a Rough Rider. And
yes.
Your troops were the Rough Riders, and you charged up San Juan Hill.
We were adventurous and intrepid.
And then when there's the Spanish-American War.
That's right. You know, as the Assistant Secretary of the Navy, I was instrumental in planning, or actually setting up, one of the major naval battles of that war.
Which was the Maine.
The Battle of Manila Bay in the
Manila
Philippines.
Bay, of course.
Yes. This all happened after the Maine exploded in Havana Harbor, of course.
Yes.
But in 1898, I was sitting.
Of course, the Maine there was a lot of question whether the United States sabotaged their own ship.
Right.
We won't go there, but it was in Manila, of course.
Right.
And the United States Navy did what to the Spanish Navy?
Well, they sunk them like it was like shooting fish in a barrel, actually.
Like your mustache.
Yes, that's right.
Maybe if you'll lean this way.
But I don't have eyelash glue. I need a little eyelash glue.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've got some glue in my pocket, but we're not going to do that right now. At any rate, no, I advised Admiral Dewey that he should keep his ships full of coal and steam with the squadron of battleships from Hong Kong right outside the mouth of Manila Bay, and he was right where he needed to be when the hostilities erupted, and when the Spanish squadron of ships tried to come out of Manila Bay, they were sunk one by one, and Admiral Dewey did not lose a single ship. Now, my boss, a gentleman by the name of Long, he was the Secretary of the Navy, very sickly man, and so I got carte blanche to kind of do things by fiat when he wasn't around. And so that was one of my bigger accomplishments. And then after all that battle cleared, I said I've got to get into this thing myself. I've got to commission my own regiment, the Rough Riders, the 1st Volunteer U.S. Cavalry.
And some of the Rough Riders were from Arizona.
Some of them were from Arizona. Some of them were cowboys. Some of them were Harvard polo players. Some of them were Native Americans. They were quite incredible group.
And we still were not a
quite
state yet.
What's that?
We weren't a state till 1912.
That's right. That's right. That was the year that I tried to run under the Progressive Party, renamed the Bull Moose Party, so named because someone
And
once
that was
asked.
Howard Taft, I believe.
Well, Howard Taft took over after I left the presidency in 1909. He was actually my hand-picked successor, but he wasn't a very good president. I didn't agree with his policies.
He didn't allow Arizona to become a state. I don't know if you knew that.
Well,
He finally did, but originally he didn't because he was a former judge, as you know.
I see.
And he was not happy with our recall process of recalling judges. And he said, I'm not going to allow that in the Constitution of the state of Arizona that you can recall judges. So New Mexico and Arizona were to come in together, did not. Only New Mexico became a president or a state. We became the 48th state after we took that out of our Constitution. And interesting, Teddy, guess what happened?
Tell me what happened.
This is really crazy. As soon as Arizona became a state, they put it back in the Constitution.
Well, see, I missed all that because from 1909 until around 1911, I was in Africa shooting big game.
Is it true that you used to say bully?
Not so much. I think someone once asked me when I got out of a 1908 Wright Flyer in 1909, they said, Mr. President, how was your flight in the airplane? Incidentally, I was the first president to fly in an airplane. And
Really?
the first president ever to fly in an airplane. They
Air
asked,
Force One.
No, well, I don't know if you could call the Wright Flyer Air Force One, but Ricky old thing, and it kind of went like this. There's some film of it.
50 feet off the ground, huh?
Yeah, I risked my life on that thing, between 50 and 200 feet on the ground, like a roller coaster.
But you did that all the time, Teddy.
well,
you always risked your life. Down there in the Amazon, and when you were, I think you've been in the Grand Canyon. Didn't you have an episode in the Grand Canyon?
Everything was by the seat of my pants. There was an episode in Brazil where
That might be what I'm thinking of.
we were
Brazil.
trying to find. We had an expedition. We were trying to find one of the sources of an uncharted river that dumped into the Amazon basin, and we found it, but almost we got hurt. Just say we got hurt, and there were tropical diseases, and
Well, didn't you injure yourself rather badly?
I did. There was a canoe accident, and the wound was pretty deep in my leg, and ultimately osteomyelitis set in, and that's how I left this place in January of 1919 with
At
fever.
the age of
and,
60.
Yep. And people said, good thing he left in his sleep, because if death tried to take me when I was awake, it would have had a tough time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
At any rate, those of you that don't know, Teddy's talking about doing a radio show.
Yes, I am.
And
Ron.
That's awesome.
I decided it was time for Americans to know what it was when we were number one in the world, and
And
when we
wanting
had,
to stay that way.
and wanting to stay that way. And Americans were patriotic, and they had values that were wholesome and protective of normal life.
And what are you going to call your show?
I was thinking that, all the people who joined me in Cuba were the Rough Riders. So I think they were my guests. So I think,
Right.
now that I have guests coming on the show, I'm going to call it Teddy and the Rough Riders.
I love it. Isn't that cool,
The
Connie?
Rough Riders, yes, I think
Connie
you're
and the
gonna
or
learn a
Connie,
lot from
Connie
your
and the
show.
Rough Riders.
I like motorcycles, and I like airplanes, and I like yachts. So, and we got all
Yes.
of them.
Yes.
She's a poor little rich girl. She's the husband.
Is that right?
Oh, her
I don't know if I would
husband's
call
her
me that. My
husband
husband's a
flies at
pilot.
what 777 or something like
Well,
that.
they just grounded the 777, so he's going to go to the 330 Airbus.
Is that your own airplane or is it?
Oh, no.
belong to-
Now they're like $260 million. I think they sold them.
He flies
they're gonna
for,
use them for UPS.
I won't say who he flies for. But
Was that a Pratt and Whitney that blew up?
No, I don't know.
Because I knew Mr. Pratt and Mr. Whitney.
Oh, no.
yeah, Teddy.
Yeah.
Teddy
Oh,
knew
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was one of those. But we have two airplanes ourselves, just little, Chinese fighter jet and another one that's a stunt plane.
Interesting.
Those are fun. If you ever want to, my husband will take you for a ride. He likes
Well,
it.
I have done it once. I should do it again.
That's right, because you've done it once. You got a better pilot this time because he's
Bully.
had 30 years of experience.
And that was the time when someone asked me, Mr. President, how was your flight? And I said, to answer your question, it was just bully.
It was nauseating.
Oh, no, he won't go upside down unless you want to go upside down.
Tell me this. This is the coolest name, Teddy and the Rough Riders.
Yeah.
But there's something else about it. You know, I noticed your little.
Yes,
Tell us about this.
I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be running for president in 2024. I've come back from the dead to run for president in 2024, and it says, Teddy Roosevelt, he's rested, he's ready.
Sounds like a good plan.
Well, I'd even change that. He's tanned, rested, and ready.
Tanned, rested, and ready. Yes.
And now, these little bears were named after you, weren't they?
That's true. That's true. What
And
happened?
what do we call these little bears?
Well, they were originally called Teddy's Bear. Teddy's Bear.
Uh-huh.
And what happened was that I was on a trip to Mississippi, handling a border dispute.
Just for your mustache.
Yes.
I think might as well try.
Yeah. Here we go. We'll just.
Look the other way.
Don't worry, I'm missing makeup, so it's
Yeah.
I understand how it is.
So
Much better.
Now that's
better?
much better.
better. Okay.
Let's see if
Look
we
at
can
that.
leave it on for the next to the end of the show.
So I was settling a border
I
dispute.
don't think that works.
No, that didn't work.
That was a good idea.
I think we should have left it the way it was.
No, it looks
Super
like
glue?
No, it looks like
I
you're
wonder if I
smoking
have
a
anything in
cigarette.
my bag of
Well,
tricks.
I'll
Whoops.
Oh no, he shaved his mustache. That was
anyway.
fast.
All right. So, so I was settling.
Are you sure it's not the Teddy Comedy Hour?
Well, it's good that we have our sense of humor.
Yes,
Sometimes it's
I
the
was
only
settling.
sense
I was
we have.
settling a border dispute between Mississippi and another adjoining state, and while I was there on this trip as president, some of my assistants they knew that I like to hunt, and they set up a
Looks like something you might have caught on the hunt.
let's put this on like this.
What is it, a mon?
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think
Just
it's a
drop
mara.
it on.
All right.
I think it's a mongoose tail that you're wearing.
Now it's a handlebar mustache. So my aides knew that I liked to hunt, and so they grabbed a bear, and I guess they wanted to make it easy for me. They grabbed this bear and they tied it up, and it was very unsporting of them to tie up this young bear and expecting me to shoot this bear. So I said, untie that bear at once, that defenseless young bear. And this got picked up in the press. There were some
Unlike your mustache.
there were some cartoons in the papers
You got a cigarette.
about Teddy's bear.
If we color that black, you'll look more like Adolf.
No, we don't want to
bad
do that.
guy.
We don't want to do that.
No, we don't want to look like
We don't want to do that. So basically, I knew I should have drawn it on today.
Let's
You
forget.
should have drawn it on.
Let's
Get to
forget
it
the
next
mustache
time.
for now.
So-
And when you do your own show, we make sure that we'll staple it on.
Indeed.
Staple
Or
it
we'll
on,
use some
sure.
kind of ink. But this got picked up in the cartoons, and someone in New York picked up a paper and saw the cartoon, and they were in the toy making business, and they thought that a bear would be a very appropriate thing for having young children comfort them as they go to bed. And they called me up. They actually wrote me and said, "Mr. President, can we name the bear after you, Teddy's bear?" And I said I didn't mind, and that's how the teddy bear came to be.
No, really.
Yeah.
No, most people
sweet.
don't know that. I don't think 99% of the people of the world probably don't know why that's called a teddy bear.
There's a children's book written
Teddy's
about
bear,
it,
really?
actually, about Teddy's
They
bear.
haven't
yeah.
banned it.
Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, our mustacheless Teddy here.
I might as well get
just
more out of
shaved.
uniform
Get,
so I can.
he's
so I can
getting,
read.
yeah, he's getting, yeah, he's going to get a new pair of glasses too that were
Yeah.
like Teddy's
Right.
for this. But one of the really interesting things here is this man really knows his history. I mean, I love history, but this man is just impeccably educated in history.
And I can do makeup on the fly.
Yeah, watch
Yeah.
this. Spirits, here he's going. Oh my.
Yeah, you see.
Okay, so any rate,
Oh, great idea.
yeah. So any rate, why don't you? We're short of time because.
Well,
Yes.
Can you read some of these? These are wonderful.
Well, this is the thing. Teddy Roosevelt, believe it or not, folks, was a very, very well-educated man, and he had many, many sayings that he had developed in his lifetime that were very poignant and really to the point, and many of them are still significant today.
This
Yes.
looks like my dad's philosophy. I
Yes.
think he stole some of these ideas
So,
from you.
Teddy, why don't you take a minute and read some of these things? I think you'll really enjoy this, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, my favorite saying is, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." And I like that because I think there was a TV show based on this, right?
Yeah,
Was it called MacGyver?
yeah.
Do what
It
you
was
can
good.
with what you have where you are.
Right.
And I was thinking about that during COVID-19, that if people just took zinc and, we didn't have hydroxychloroquine or even chloroquine
Yes.
at the turn of the century, but we did have something that was around since the year 1600.
I know what it is.
What is it?
Quinine.
It's quinine, yes. From the bark of the cinchona tree, grows up in the
See, I told you he knows this stuff.
grows
Listen
up in
to
the Andes, in the
I
Peruvian
haven't
Andes.
been there yet, but
Andy
I'm
who?
going.
Amos and Andy?
ANDES, there's a mountain range there, which gives rise to the tributaries that form the Amazon, where I was. But if you take about half a liter of quinine in the morning with some zinc, and you take half a liter of quinine in the evening with some zinc, I think there's not a COVID virus around that could withstand
There you
that
go.
kind of punishment.
And you don't have to get a shot, folks.
I'm
Take
not
natural,
getting a shot.
natural
I'm
medical.
not getting a shot.
Yeah, take natural medicines.
Yeah. Well, if you have a therapeutic, you don't really need a vaccine, do you?
No,
Yeah.
no. And this grows the bark of a tree, for gosh sake.
Yeah.
So it's,
Of course, you have some vitamin C and vitamin D and all that kind of thing. Here's another one that I like. It is hard to fail, but worse, never to have tried to succeed.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard that another way, but
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah. And here's a very inspirational one.
Believe you can.
Believe you can, and you're halfway there.
That's true.
It's the power of positive
And
thinking.
Rush Limbaugh kind of used that basic thing because Rush Limbaugh said, "If you think you can't, you can't."
That's right. That's the corollary. That's the corollary.
If you think you can't, you can't.
And here's another one I like. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
You said that?
I said that.
That's awesome.
Can't tell you when I said it. It's been some decades
You
ago.
just said it now.
I just said it now. Knowing what's right doesn't mean much unless you do what's right. And
Nice.
I was a man of action.
Nice.
Man of action.
That knocks out 97% of our politicians right
This
now.
is very poignant. That's you're right about that.
They
But
know it's right. They just don't want to do what's right.
well, that tees up this next quotation of mine. To educate a person in the mind, but not in morals, is to educate a menace to society.
That covers about 90% of all our attorneys in the United States.
That's right. That's right. Here's one that's very
This one I
appropriate.
love.
It's very appropriate with the landing of Percy on Mars.
Yes.
You know, I think there was a guy named Percy in my administration, but perseverance.
He was a governor of Illinois.
He
Back when they had good ones?
No, he used to be the president of Bell and Howell, Chuck Percy.
I don't
Remember
know.
that, Mr. O'Connor?
I do. Is he like your Ed McMahon?
He's my Ed McMahon. Hi-oh.
Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. And that's what they did at JPL.
Right.
They
Jet
were-
Propulsion Laboratory.
That's right. That's right. You know, that was first an agricultural facility that experimented with beans, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. You know that.
No.
Now you do.
I can read between the lines here,
Now you do.
but we won't go there.
There's this
Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. When you play hard, play hard. When you work, don't play at all.
So leave your cell phones at home when you're
That's
on the
right.
job. Right?
That's right. That's right,
I see
Connie.
people always playing with their cell phones while they're on the clock.
That didn't happen during my administration.
No cell phones?
Because they
Oh.
didn't have cell phones.
See? That made a big difference.
Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left a name worth remembering.
I know people like that too. And I'd like to forget their names.
Now here is what is wrong with our country today. The next quote: comparison is the thief of joy. Be happy in yourself. Be happy with what you have. Be
Basically-
happy with what you've achieved.
Don't covet other people's properties.
Don't compare. We're all different.
Yep.
Politeness is a sign of dignity, not of subservience.
Excellent. I
Yes.
like that.
Yes. By the way, do you like that I have my insignia of the first volunteer?
First
volunteer
Cav.
Cavalry.
Yes.
First
Yeah,
Cavalry.
First Cav. That's right. No man is justified in doing evil on the ground of expediency. The end justifies the means. That
Tell that to Nancy Pelosi. You're doing stand-up over here. I'm just being quiet in the corner.
character, in the long run, is a decisive factor in the life of an individual and of nations alike.
You have character.
Very profound statements here.
Right.
Even if it's me that wrote them. No man should receive $1 unless that dollar has been fairly earned.
True.
Well, there's a lot of people that feel entitled and they want to be paid for nothing.
That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna end.
we need to bring back
We're
these
gonna be
old-
ending the show momentarily here.
Yeah,
but,
we need to bring this
let's,
back to
Let's
our-
get let's get the other 7 or 8
Yes.
out of the
Yeah,
way.
it's wonderful.
And then Mr. O'Connor, and then we'll go to the
Order without liberty and liberty without order are equally destructive. The worst of all fears is the fear of living. Courtesy is as much a mark of a gentleman as courage. All the resources we need are in the mind.
Even if
Get
you're
the
blind.
kids back to school.
Yes.
Yes.
No man is above the law, and no man below it. For those who fight for it, life has a flavor the sheltered will never know. I put myself, speaking of myself, I put myself in the way of things happening, and they happened. Each one must do his part if we wish to show that the nation is worthy of its good fortune. Aggressive fighting for the right is the noblest sport the world affords. And the final one, I care not what others think of what I do, but I care very much about what I think of what I do. That is character.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, this was just in time because the music is playing.
Oh, that's what it
And
was.
gosh, Teddy, we're glad you came, and even though we were a little late, and we're glad your mustache is on.
Been a long
Please
way to
leave it
travel.
on for the rest of the night. And we'd like to thank Connie for being here, especially Teddy, and we want to have you back.
Well, thank you.
And we want to get you set up here so you can start your show with Teddy and the Rough Riders. That's exciting to me.
And I do want to apologize for my tardiness, but I just want to point out that we were late getting from Tampa to Santiago, Cuba. And it took us longer after the beach landing to get to San Juan Hill.
Got to get us going here. Mike O'Connor, thank you, Mr. O'Connor. Mr. DeSante, thank you for all you've done. And Connie and Teddy, thank you so much. And we'll see you Wednesday night on Fighting Back.
Bully, bully!